Hello, and welcome to the We Get to Do This podcast. My name is Kailee.
And I'm Jacob.
And we are your co-hosts.
In this show, we're going to dive into all things our lives, from our partnership to romance to entrepreneurship to growing our businesses together, our fitness journeys, and we're going to have a ton of different guests on that relate to what I just said in some way. We're hoping you enjoy the show, and if you do,
please feel free to follow us, leave us a 5-star review on wherever you listen to your podcasts, and enjoy.
And if you don't like the show, tough. Thank you.
Thanks. It's a cute dance you got. Where'd Jacob go?
Coming in hot, 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 hot. Coming in hot, 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 hot. Coming in hot, 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 hot. Wow. That was probably the most cringy thing we've ever done on this podcast.
Yeah. Kind of want to delete that, but we don't delete, so not going to.
Well, so last night we were on our stroll over to the sauna. It's about 8 p.m. Tuesday night. Kailee and I walk into the neighborhood. We roll into the sauna and
just high on life.
High on life. There's someone in there. They kind of give us a look. It's a community sauna, right? It's big enough. You could probably fit 10 people in there if you had to.
At least.
If you had to. It's
two
for 3 apartments. Yeah, 2 levels of benches and a standing area. The most I've seen in there is maybe 5 people. But we go in there. There's one person sitting in the corner. They kind of give us this look a little bit, send a vibe that's clearly like, I don't want to talk to you, which is fine. I'm all for like being in my head in the sauna and not making small talk. That's fine. Then Kailee and I proceed to sit down, and maybe this is where we went wrong. I'm curious if the podcast listeners have an opinion on this, but we start talking a little bit, but not like excessive.
And
I didn't
quietly.
Quietly.
Like very much indoor voices and quieter. Yeah. Because I also appreciate a quiet sauna.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So we don't usually talk to each other a whole lot, and this is just us two. But maybe we were talking too much.
It was hard to breathe, so it's not like we were just like chatting away.
Right. So, and then it's like, what was it, 140 in there?
Yeah, or more. It was one of the hottest times I've ever been in that sauna.
Yeah, it was hot. When we walked in, I was like, woof, okay, this is hot. I'm not going to be in here longer than 10 minutes. And sat there for about a minute, and the person in the sauna grabs the ladle and aggressively throws 2 big splashes, like, psh, psh, doesn't stand up, doesn't go near the thing, like across the sauna into this, into the rocks. And it's like a loud sizzle and like scary and just boom, like heat wave. And I'm like, it's hard. I can't breathe through my nose at this point. Like, it's that hot. And I'm like, I think we should get out of here. Like, I was a little concerned. It's also the first time I've ever been in a sauna, and the person didn't ask the other people in the sauna if we're okay with them throwing water on and making it hotter, let alone two scoops.
It's supposed to be 1 scoop every 10 minutes.
It was insane. It was so hot. So that shut us up. So I think that was maybe what they wanted, was for us to stop talking, because we're like breathing, right? But after about 2 minutes, because we're tough, and heat trained, we
have good breathing practices.
Yeah. We got used to it, and then we were talking again, and this person gets up kind of aggressively, walks to the door, opens it, grabs her headphones, keeps it open for a second too. I was kind of like, seems a little weird. Puts on headphones. I took it. Kailee and I both took it as all right, I'm sick of hearing you two talk. So we were like, now we kind of felt bad. I'm like, okay. All right.
But I'm
not a community person. We get it.
We can keep talking now because she has her headphones in.
Yeah.
She can't hear us anyways. These are noise canceling headphones.
Yeah.
So again, we proceed to quietly talk. Again, we are not like chatty Cathy's in there.
Yeah. This is all in the span of 10 minutes. So by this point, it's like minute 5. We're not there a long time. Then they grab the ladle again. Psh, another splash. It is hot in here now. Like scalding hot. I'm like, this feels like too much. I'm kind of starting to have out-of-body experiences a little bit, where I'm like, my body doesn't feel amazing. Kailee looks over at the temperature to see what it is, and this person glares back, and we were like, because they were sitting by the temperature gauge. So it was a lot of look, I hope your day goes better, and we ended up leaving, and
she won.
She
won.
They
They won.
I was trying to not let anyone. I wasn't trying to give away any idea of who this person was.
I will give it back to this person. 1 point to them, 0 point to Kailee and Jacob.
Yeah, they win. They win. But if I see them in the sauna again, I'm going in again. I'll tell you that right now. You can share a big sauna.
I'm going to do 5 ladles next time.
I could not believe how hot that got. But the reason I bring that story up is because we've been training a lot for this heat and using the sauna. Because it's July and it's, as they say, hot.
Hot, hot, hot.
And here's the reality. The world doesn't seem to be cooling down. The world doesn't seem to be cooling down. It's been hot. It was 80 at Fargo Marathon this year. 80, in fact, warmer than that. In the beginning of May. In October, it's hot throughout the whole month. It's time that we stop. You have Javelina, which is going to be hot. It's time we stop planning or hoping that it's not hot come races in the fall and spring. And it's time we start prepping that it will be hot. It will be hot at your race. And if it's not, you got lucky. Probably.
Because
water.
He's hot. He needs water. The good news with heat training too, like Jacob said, even if your race ends up not being hot, there are so many adaptive benefits to heat training that go outside of just being able to race better in the heat. And I've pulled a few of those up for you because I'm not really great at remembering stats, but there's actually a lot of research out there about heat training. And this is something that I've been getting really into this summer because, again, with my desert race, I need to be prepared so that I don't drop dead in the middle of my race. And I've always been someone, my parents can attest to from a very young age, I have never really done well with heat. And I remember, being in Colorado as I didn't know how old I was, a 5-year-old probably, and playing outside with my cousins. And when they brought me back to the house, they needed to immediately put me in a cool bath because I was basically getting heat stroke and from not even being outside for that long. And I never could do soccer in the summer because it was all soccer season was so hot. And what else? Oh, I swore off of July races a few years ago because of the heat. But here we are did multiple July races because I'm trying to develop a new mindset, a new mentality, and a new physical way to be able to get through heat. Because like Jacob said, the earth, this is very sad, but she is not getting any cooler anytime soon. And so we need to find ways to, yes, slow that down. Please, do your part in keeping our earth as cool as possible. But that's, talk to your corporations and all of the other people. But I digress. Anyways, it's getting hotter. And some of the benefits, though, for heat training is I found a few articles out there that 10 days of heat acclimation improved plasma volume by 5% and increased VO2 max by 8% in cool conditions.
Poor human's altitude.
Athletes also saw improved time trial performance, even in non-heat environments. So again, this is showing that it can benefit your overall performance, not just in hot weather. Improved thermal regulation, meaning that there were improvements, it shows improvements in sweat rate, it lowers your core body temperature during exercise, and helps you sweat earlier. And sweat is a way that helps your body to cool off faster. So the faster you can sweat, it's like a detox pathway, and it's your way of your body cooling down quicker. Jacob is a very good sweater. You get in the sauna and he's immediately sweating. It's very impressive. I feel like I'm getting better with that now too.
It's not always great though. I've had situations in which I've sweat in situations I haven't wanted to.
Yeah, within reason. Yeah. There's also research that even just hot baths can improve your performance. So if you don't have access to a sauna, there are other ways which we're going to be talking about more today too, but there's research that showed that even that can help with passive heat exposure. And the last study I want to bring up is there was one showing that runners using sauna sessions for 30 minutes, 2 times a week for 3 weeks, improved time to exhaustion by 32% and a 7% increase in plasma volume. And showed that sauna sessions post-run are especially effective and performance boosting.
And we should aim for 30 minutes.
So from what I saw, a lot of the studies have been done for about 15 to 30 minutes. There's a lot of variability in this, and I was actually just listening to Dr. Huberman podcast about this, and he talked about like the difference between cold and heat exposure and using those. And I have thoughts on cold that we could talk about too. But I feel like in general, 15 to 30 minutes. I feel like it also really depends on how hot your sauna is, if you have already exercised before, how often you're doing it. And you also need to be able to listen to your body. And like right now, running outside is basically a sauna. And I think it's also important to say that this is something that we adapt to and work up to. And, you know, I started a couple weeks ago. I mean, we've been doing the sauna, but especially like a couple weeks ago, started doing it like a couple times a week and have been slowly increasing it. And please do not just immediately like jump into midday runs, saunaing every day. Like, don't do what Jacob's doing. Because your body will get depleted, and especially for females, like it depends on where you are at in your cycle. It's okay, no shame. For females, like if you are like in your menstrual phase, probably not the best time to be doing a ton of heat training and to be using the sauna and going out for a midday speed workout, because your body's already depleted from bleeding and it will just continue to get more depleted. So there are times to listen to your body. Not to say that you can't do any of it, but just then think of like shorter duration and not as long, and just being really in tune with how often and how long you're doing it. And then always making sure to focus on replenishing before, during, and after with the electrolytes, with food, because like if you've ever weighed yourself before a run and then you go out on a really sweaty, hot run day, like you can lose a couple pounds in like a 30 to 60 minute time span. And that's like all water weight that you're losing and electrolytes. And that's why you can, like, if you can like taste the salt and stuff on your face, like it's a pretty telltale way to know that you're losing a ton of sodium and that you need to then replenish that. Like if you're feeling like that, if you see like the white and stuff on your body, like that means you need to rehydrate. Right?
Correct.
So again, ways that I've been heat training lately are going for saunas immediately after runs and workouts. So if you can leave some extra time to go into a sauna or hot bath immediately after, like that's a lot of the research that I was seeing was immediately after. Not to say that going later won't help. It's just, that's just when they recommend going in.
Right after?
Right after. Did
you say why? Did I miss that? Did it say anything about why?
It's a great question, but I think because you're already warmed up and your body is already like, your core body temperature is already higher, so then you're just improving upon that. But I'd have to dig a little deeper. But
did it say anything about infrared saunas versus dry saunas or steam rooms?
Yeah, it's a good call. I didn't differentiate between that either, because with infrared saunas, like I know a lot of people don't love infrared saunas, and there's tons of benefits for infrared too. It's just you don't feel as hot, and especially not immediately. Like I feel like typically it takes a little bit longer to feel that heat, because the infrared sauna is like penetrating deeper. It's using a different form of heat therapy versus going into like our sauna, which is like the typical like wooden like stone sauna where you like walk in and you're immediately just like dripping sweat. So there's benefits to both. And if you only have access to an infrared or you only have access to the really hot one, like neither is wrong. They just have different ways of heating you up and different benefits. And I mean, I really enjoy infrared saunas, and those have been shown to like increase immunity, increase also like helping with performance benefits. So it's just it takes a little bit longer. So I feel like people just don't think that they're getting as much of the benefits because it just takes a little bit longer. You're not just coming out dripping in sweat like other ones because it's not as humid or there's no humidity in there.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So use the sauna.
Use
That's
a
the
sauna.
biggest thing, I'd say.
If you don't have a sauna though, like I said, like even just going into a hot bath can provide some of the same benefits. And baths are great anyways, because then you can also add Epsom salt, which is great for recovery then. So you're getting more than just the heat benefit, but then you have the relaxation aspect of that too. And this is especially beneficial too, like if you're training for a mountain race, like Jacob's going to Colorado next week. So he's going to be in altitude. And what do you say? It's the poor man's altitude training.
Yeah, I'm actually ripping the well, that's not true. One of the reasons I'm ripping the sauna though is to prep for Colorado.
Because that makes sense with like what I was saying about like increasing plasma volume.
It's in different ways, but yeah.
It's a way to help with that acclimation without actually having the ability to be in altitude. So heat is our way of doing that. Or if you don't have a altitude tent, doing this is a great way to improve the blood. And other ways that you can do it are by wearing, like, again, please be careful with these things, but like wearing extra clothing on you. And instead of, just going out in like a sports or on shorts, wearing like a long sleeve or wearing something a little heavier, like obviously that will induce sweat and heat a lot faster than if you were to go out into less clothing layers. And then you can start, like, I'm planning on purposefully doing runs in the heat of the day this summer. Because again, for my 100, like I'm going to be out all day and it could be 100 degrees or more at 2 in the afternoon and I'm going to have to deal with it. So I need my body to be prepped to be running at that time in the heat of the day. And again, that's something to build to. And like listen to your body for like signs of dehydration too. Like if you're getting like dizzy and nauseous, like that's a sign to maybe take a few minutes to stop and pause under the shade in some shade or to pull it back for a little bit. And it doesn't mean that you can't handle heat. Just again, that's where we're like working on the slow progression. And a lot of it was showing that it takes like, make sure you have at least like 7 to 14 days to start that acclimation and like start at least like 4 to 6 weeks ahead of time if you can. I'm starting a lot sooner than that just because I can and I want my body to be really ready for October. But that's kind of what the studies were showing as far as that.
So that's how you train to prep for heat, right? / to improve fitness too. Like saunas improve fitness.
Mm.
It's a very blanketed statement, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, with saunas, there's so many like
benefits
that will
help you
and studies, like even just like improving longevity.
Yeah.
And as we know, like in Norway and Finland, like saunas are huge over there, and that's where a lot of the studies have been done, and it shows like improved quality of life, improved longevity, improved performance. So there's so many benefits to sauna. If you can get in at least twice a week, I feel like that's kind of like the baseline for showing those like performance benefits. But 3 or more is ideal.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how we can train to better handle the heat. The next part of this that I think we should talk about is how we can train for performance while it's hot. So what I mean by that is how do we optimally, if your goal is to optimally perform in the heat, say on maybe race day, or you have a speed workout, right? And you are trying to perform a certain way. How do we do that? How do we handle the heat, right? Because one, you've already done what we just talked about. Ideally, you've prepped for it, but you still need to be able to handle it in that moment, right? And in that moment, you're not dressing hot. If you're trying to hit a certain time, you're not going to dress hot to like, right? And so I think in the sense of if you're trying to hit certain times, whether it be a race or whether it be a pace workout, two different things to understand. Number one, if it's a race and super hot or humid, then you need to likely adjust expectations slash again, you prepped for that. So depending on where you're at, no, you might need to change paces. But if it's a workout, say you're trying to hit a certain pace or heart rate or whatever in a workout, A, go based off heart rate, not off the pace range if you're doing it outside. B, try to do it either early morning or later at night, understanding though that early morning is probably more humid. And C, if possible, do it on a treadmill. Depending again what your goal is. If you're trying to hit like if you're someone that's trying to hit like a certain pace or something, treadmill or find some shade. Right? So just keep those in mind of the different things that you should be focusing on in terms of like performing in the heat. And then the other more like really important thing is you're fueling in the heat. Specifically electrolytes and getting your water in. Typically on average, 1,000 milligrams, you could lose upwards of 1,000 milligrams per hour of sodium while you're running if it's super hot. Everyone's different. Like a heavy sweater could lose like 2,000, right? If you were sweating a ton. If it's super humid, humidity makes it so that the sweat that cools us down in like a dry heat, it makes it harder for that sweat to evaporate and for your body to create more sweat to cool you down. So in humidity, a lot of times it's harder to cool you down. So just keep that in mind too. So you might need even more electrolytes and water to replenish that, right? In addition to that, if your engine, your body is working harder, it's going to require more fuel. What is that fuel? Carbs. So if you're someone that has ideally you're taking in like 190 grams, maybe 110, whoever, depending on who you are, a lot of carbs per hour already for like long runs and speed workouts and things like that. You might need to go an additional 20 if you are burning. If you have to work harder in the heat, you will be burning more calories. If you're burning more calories, you need to replenish more calories. So keep those two things in mind as well for heat specific. And that is not just the race, that's the entire day before and day of. So keep that in mind. That's like fueling in general, but tailored towards heat.
Yeah, I mean, I do electrolytes before, during, and after. Like, I like having a handheld bottle that has electrolytes and coconut water in it. So I'm able to be replenishing and hydrating throughout my run. In case I, don't come across any water stops, and just to make sure that I have enough. A few of my other favorite ways of like staying cool when you're running is like, this is specific to races, I guess, but like if they have ice, and a lot of races will have ice, put them in your hands, like literally put the ice chunks in your hands. In Chinese medicine, if you're watching, but like on your palm, in the middle of your palm and the side, these are very big heat points and fire points in Chinese medicine. So I'll even needle these sometimes. They're not the most fun, obviously, but since they're for releasing heat and fire, if you're putting your hands like in cold water or holding onto ice, that's a very fast way to immediately cool your body down without needing to like physically dunk your entire body into the water. So it's one of my favorite tips. You can also cover yourself in water. That's something that I'm going to be doing during javelina, is just like trying to keep my body like as wet as possible the whole time. That helps with the sweat rate and helps just with like staying cooler in general. I always try to run through sprinklers like during races, or if I'm on a training run and see a sprinkler. Sometimes it doesn't last super long, but it's still a way to like get your body like a little bit cooler for a second. And if you see any kind of like juicy fruits at an aid station or at your house, that's another one of my favorite ways to cool off and to get in that hydration. So for my last couple of big races, like I've gotten like big cups of like watermelon cubes and or grapes and oranges, like all the things that you think of as you're racing or as you're really hot and you're like, man, I could really use like some watermelon right now or some like an orange. Those are ways to cool off your body. Watermelon is called shigua in Chinese medicine, and it's actually a Chinese herb, and it's meant to cool your body down. And now I know we can get watermelon year round thanks to how we grow things, but it was originally meant to just be in the summer and meant to be for purposes of cooling and hydrating the body. Also good for hangovers. So yeah, thinking of like having those juicy fruits during the summer too, and like having that before, during, and after as well. Anything else you're doing for heat?
Also trying to avoid hot foods. I'm not amazing at it, but
Yeah.
I'm being aware of that, which it's one of those things where some people might be like, that's some like voodoo voodoo stuff, right? But it's like, okay. Like, yeah, maybe it's not Western approved, or I don't know. Maybe it is, I don't know. But here's the thing. If you eat hot food, you feel hotter.
Yeah.
It's one of those like, boom,
Boom.
for me.
If
I
you're
was
someone
like,
who
duh.
runs hot, like yeah,
Like
spicy
eating hot
foods.
food it literally makes your stomach feel hot.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen if your core feels hot? You're gonna feel hotter.
Yeah.
So
So that's why we're
doing
having
that.
watermelon. That's why we're having cucumber. That's why we're having mint, mung bean soup. Those are all things that helped the body to literally.
smoothies. No?
Yeah, sure. But the ones that I talked about are just like cooling foods without like having like ice cold beverages. Because ice cold beverages, if you're putting iced things into your belly, that will actually cause your core body temperature to go up because you're trying to digest it.
What
So
if it's just a little cool? You're telling me I shouldn't be having my smoothies every day?
I'm just saying that it could cause digestive issues for some people. So if you can be doing things like putting like cucumber and mint in your water, like having that instead, that's a better option.
Good to know.
But I mean, summer is a time when you can get by with a little bit more cooler things. But if you're somebody who tends towards like loose stools, towards bloating, towards digestive issues, your morning smoothies are not doing you any favors. So if anything, I just try to say like, just don't start your day off with a really cold smoothie. Especially if you're one of those people of things I talked about. We've talked about this. You know these things.
I thought in the summer it was okay.
It's better. It's better. It's not, I'm not going to say it's good or bad. It's just,
Well,
can be tough on the body to be putting in cold things in an empty stomach because we want our digestive fire to be working and not just being put out and then having our body work that much harder to warm the body back up again.
you heard it here first.
But I drink smoothies too. I'm not saying that I don't. I just try to have warm things also. And then you can also balance it out. Like you put in ginger, which is warming. So that helps too. Aside from the food thing, I was saying I'm trying to change my mindset around heat also. You can literally like trick yourself into thinking it's cooler, especially like if it's a race. If I'm racing and I'm like so hot, like I'm thinking of 2 years ago when I was doing the Twilight 5K. And the Twilight 5K, it's on a track and it always happens to be on, I swear, like the hottest day of the entire year. And I was talking to my mindset coach, Christine, at the time, like on the way to this race because I was really nervous. And she was like, literally like picture yourself in a very cold place, like in the tundra, and like picture yourself being cold. And so that is what I did for this race. And I was like picturing myself like in Antarctica with a bunch of penguins running around. And I was also thinking of like myself in January in Minnesota and being like, Kaylee, like if it was January and it's -20 right now, like you'd be really enjoying this. But anyways, like picture yourself in cold. And for me at least, like that helps a lot. And same in the winter. Like, picture yourself being in a really warm place. And it can help for a little bit, honestly. Because if you're just being like, I am so hot, I am dying, this is the worst thing ever, I hate summer, I hate July, August races, you're gonna hate them. That's always been me. And now I'm like, bring on the heat. I want it. It's good for training, and it's only gonna help me with racing and to be able to tolerate the heat, since it's like a daily thing right now. That's what I've got.
I love it. What's your we get to do this moment for the week?
Oh boy. I'm going to Washington, and I haven't gotten to do it yet, but I get to do that soon, and I'm very excited to be with one of my best friends and to be in the mountains. I get to do that. What's yours?
I've reached a point where I get to take Wednesdays off from being in the gym, which is very cool. Very cool. Off. So I won't be in person anymore Wednesdays. I'll be there Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And Monday, Thursday, Friday, I'm there from 6 to noon. And Tuesday, I'm there pretty much from 6 to 7 straight. But I'm excited about that. Just like getting to a point again with another schedule change that, like, how lucky am I that I get to have as a trainer? I get to be off almost every day at noon. Wednesdays are off. Saturday and Sundays are off from like in-person stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's a lot of other things I am doing outside of those hours, but it's just going to give me more time to like continue to grow the business and grow with you too, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, we are both really trying to focus on working on the business and not just in the business.
Yeah.
And we both were getting to points where, like, you're with people one-on-one all day, and then it's just the last thing you want to do is like to continue ed or like work on other things and working on the business. And if we want to grow, that's how we have to do it, and just making more time for that. And you also have a lot of calls with run coaching clients outside of that too. So a lot to be done, but I'm proud of you for going a little away from the one-on-one.
Yeah, my accountability buddy Landon kind of put me in check like 2 weeks ago. He was like, "You're the only one driving the ship. How are you going to keep it in check?" Is what he said, and then I wrote that down. And it's just a good point. 'Cause it's like, I think that's tough for us. Is it's very easy. Like, we're doing everything on the ship right now, right? So it's very easy to, if the ship is sailing, you feel like you're moving, but the ship could be sailing in a variety of directions, and you're constantly putting holes out and whatnot, but the ship's moving forward, maybe. I think the point
Or
of
in
that is
circles.
that, yeah, or in circles. Like, it's not necessarily moving forward, but also defining, like, what does forward mean, right? I'm in a position right now where the ship is just moving in circles, but it's like, I don't have to even point it any specific way. So I'm excited to kind of dial that in more, and yeah, in a good spot. We get to do this. Another episode.
Thanks for listening. Please be safe in the heat.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Stay cool.
Wow, Kaylee, we made it through another episode. What do you think?
We would love if you would go give us a follow, a 5-star review, and comment on the episode and what you liked and what you'd like to see more of.
See you next time.
We get to do this.